Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and if you've been following this channel for the last decade or so, even not that long ago, but for at least a little while, you know that I'm a big fan of The Witcher 3. It's one of my favorite video games of all time, and it looks like Witcher 3 will be back in the news cycle this year once again, as a new expansion is being heavily rumored, and now we have some details on it. This is getting more and more legitimate. I didn't know how to process it when I initially heard about it. I was like, alright, I'll believe it when I see it, but now so many reports are coming out about it, and if you actually think about it, it makes all the sense in the world. We're probably still 2 years away from the release of Witcher 4. If I had to, dart at the wall, I would say fall of 2027, so a little under 2 years. But by the time that this theoretical or hypothetical DLC would be coming out, it would probably be like 18 months removed from the release, 16 months away, and that's where you really want to start the promotional push for The Witcher 4. Start rolling out gameplay trailers and do all of that as you get closer to the release, and doing a DLC, not only bringing Witcher 3 back into the news cycle, make some money on it, because I think it makes all the sense in the world. Witcher 3 still holds up as an incredible game 11 years later, and then also use it as a promotional vehicle for Witcher 4 makes so much sense. Now, this new news is coming from PPE.pl. It's the same source that first called Microsoft Flight Sim coming to PlayStation 5 and Doom the Dark Ages disc being empty. Potential details for the Witcher 3 DLC. Crucially, IGN Poland has confirmed that whispers of such an expansion have been circulating behind the scenes for years, though they were kept strictly confidential until now. This Witcher 3 expansion would be a paid expansion on the scale similar to Sony's Spider-Man spin-off Miles Morales. This would be a big expansion if that was the case. I was thinking, hey, if it's as big as Blood and Wine, that would be a huge W, but even if it's a couple hours, I think it would be big, and it would reportedly serve as a narrative bridge between the third game and the upcoming new saga, while also allowing CDPR to hit key targets in their corporate incentive program, aka making money. Continuing, we at PPE can also verify these revelations. Our own sources tipped us off about a new Wild Hunt project a year ago in the first half of 2025. We were explicitly told that The Witcher 3 would receive massive new content that fans will absolutely love. As of today, CDPR has not officially commented on those reports, but notably, they have not denied them either. I think that's the most interesting part about this. If people are getting way too excited about something that's not going to happen, I feel like CDPR would be aware enough to be like, bro, this isn't happening. A lot of people wanted Cyberpunk 2077 to get upgraded for PlayStation 5 Pro. CDPR beat that and immediately came out and said, hey, we're not working on this. I feel like that's what CDPR wants to do. According to information disclosed by IGN, details we hadn't personally heard suggesting the project may have evolved over the years, developers might have planned a journey in an entirely new exotic direction long ago. While many players are looking forward to the Frozen North, the studio's original plans allegedly pointed towards Zerkania after the mud of Velen and the fairy tale atmosphere of Toussaint, a sandy desert with a scorching sun and a distinct culture, would be a massive breath of fresh air, effectively a Witcher in a Dune-like setting. That theory gains weight when examining clues within the game and supplemental materials. One of the strongest arguments involves the Manticore School, the diagrams for which Geralt discovers in the Blood and Wine expansion. The school's headquarters are located in the east on the edge of the desert. Interestingly, lore for the Witcher TTRPG mentions that this school was the only one to experiment with the trial of the grasses on women. This opens a fascinating narrative drawer. An expedition to Zerkania could be her chance to undergo mutations safely, which would explain her appearance in the teaser for the new saga. That, I think, makes all the sense in the world. We gotta do two things with this expansion. Specifically, explain how Ciri becomes a Witcher, and also, I think it behooves, from a mechanic standpoint, we gotta nerf Ciri, unfortunately. Like, Ciri's a little broken. We gotta nerf her because this is gonna be a trilogy of games. You can't have Ciri be absolutely OP right out the gate. I feel like you need to nerf her and then also make her a Witcher, and you can dispel that talk right out the gate, because that's the one thing. Oh, how Ciri become a Witcher? This is ruining Witcher. I know that's like a hyperbolic take, but if you explain that with an expansion that's really well received, people will move on, and then it's all systems go. Like, Witcher 4 would be fine with or without this expansion, but The expansion would certainly help that. Further seed planting for this direction can be found in Let Those dialogue. If the Kingslayer survived in your save file, he explicitly declares his intent to leave, seeking peace in its matriarchy, far from political quagmire of the North. We also shouldn't forget the upcoming Witcher 1 remake. The main antagonist, hailed from Zerkania, returning to his homeland in a new DLC would be a brilliant marketing move. Tying together CDPR's legacy, this is incredibly interesting as far as what you can do about it. There is a lot of smoke here where I believe there is going to be some fire. And when you just assess it from a standpoint of, could this make money? Would people be excited for it? Would this benefit Witcher 4? Yeah, it absolutely would. And in an era where games are getting so long to develop, I've been calling for these smaller scale expansions that give people more of the universes that they love without taking 7 years of development cycle. And I think it just makes more sense to do more projects like Spider-Man Miles Morales, like Witcher 3 getting more expansions, especially because, like I said, Witcher 3 still holds up. When you look at the major titles coming out today, does Witcher 3 really not look as good as the newest games? No, it still does. The only hurdle you would have to overcome is like, alright, you've been promoting this Witcher 3 Complete Edition for a while. How I think you would get around that is making the expansion a standalone expansion. And if it's like Miles Morales, that is a standalone expansion. Miles Morales is a standalone expansion. I think you could do Witcher 3, The Saga of Ciri, or something like that. I just totally name-generated name right there. But you price that at $29.99 or $39. Let's do $39.99. Miles Morales was $49.99. You can do $39.99 for an expansion like that, and if you're gonna get 20 to 30 hours of gameplay, let's say 20 hours, again, relative to Miles Morales, if you steamroll through the campaign, you could actually get through that game in like 7 to 8 hours, but with all the optional content and whatnot, and if it's on a similar scale, 15 to 20 hours, you know, for the campaign, I think people would be all over that, and again, you would bridge the gap, you would explain the element of how does Ciri become a Witcher, which has been a consistent talking point, which I think it's better to have that in place before Witcher 4. I think having Ciri getting nerfed as well, if that's what's gonna happen, having that in place before Witcher 4 comes out, I think that makes more sense than rather Witcher 4's opening prologue is all of that, is a lot of setting the table. Like, Witcher 4 is already gonna be setting the table in the sense that it's the kickoff to a new trilogy. There's gonna be a lot of that for the other narrative arcs. I think for this narrative arc in terms of Ciri becoming a Witcher, that's something that's better left for an expansion like this, a standalone expansion. Price it at $40. You can explain some of the key narrative questions that people have, and after that's concluded, it's all systems go for Witcher 4. And by the way, Witcher 3 still needs a Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade, so you can parlay that into it, and it just makes a lot of sense to do that. And that would be an expansion you could release on Xbox, PlayStation 5, Switch 2, and PC. You guys just know, I can't be more excited for something like this, and it would be instantly, man, I already think 2026 is stacked, and while this wouldn't be like a major new game release, it would be something I would absolutely get excited for, so hopefully that does come to fruition. But let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. You guys know me. I love Witcher. Can't wait for Witcher 4, and I love Ciri as a character as well, so I'm happy to see her as the main character. The only thing is Ciri's like absolutely broken in terms of her power scale, so I do think there is that issue of needing to nerf her, explaining how she becomes a Witcher, and I think doing the explanation and all of that in an expansion makes more sense than having the first opening 7 to 8 hours, or even a couple of hours dedicated to doing that. I think you can get more mileage out of an expansion doing that. But that's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. So curious to hear what you guys think. And Witcher 3 coming back into the forefront and being one of the most discussed games of 2026. That warms my heart. And I love Cyberpunk as well. I hope that they do more of that with Cyberpunk got Phantom Liberty, man. I think that's at the table on, you know, how to offer more content. And we saw it with Blood and Wine as well. The expansion game, I think, for games that are really well received, not every game can do it. And we know that DLC is like a big thing in a lot of games to get more mileage, but there's a difference between DLC that's clearly cut content and then expansions that give you more of the games you love. Spider-Man Miles Morales was an expansion. Witcher Blood and Wine, that was an expansion. Phantom Liberty was an expansion. This could be an expansion rather than Oh, if you buy the deluxe edition, you'll get the DLC when it comes out in the next year. I'm looking at you, Digimon Storytime Stranger. I'm looking at you, Starfield. I'm looking at you, what's it called? Code Vein 2 even, that's coming out. But I think this fits a different criteria. That'll do it for me. Your thoughts down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.